How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. What about you, ma'am?
All's well, all's well. So, what all have you learned during this duration since we've had a last session, which has been a long time ago, I think. I think it was somewhere beginning of last month. It's been a while. So, anything new that you've learned? Anything that you would want to
Mm,
discuss about it?
yes, I kept learning many things, ma'am.
All right.
I have been watching your videos with many co-learners. I learned many things from you.
All right. And can you just tell me what all have you learned from the videos that we've made with other co-learners?
Like how to communicate with people, how to be a good listener,
Mm-hmm.
how to be optimistic in time. So many things.
All right. So, do you think you were having these issues before? See what happens psychologically speaking. We pick up things that we want to understand or we want to learn. But do you think you are facing these issues or that is something you actively want to work on? You have to bifurcate between the two. So, what do you think?
Um, can you repeat once, ma'am? Surely
Sure.
some noise is going on in my side.
All right, no worries, no worries. So basically, what I'm asking is that you wanted to pick up those things from other videos because you thought that there was something that you had to work on, or you realized it before you started picking up things that these are areas where you should work on for a better flow of communication. So, what was that? What was there that why were you picking those things up? Is the question.
No, okay. Actually, I have been following every tutors for a long time.
All
Just sick
right.
of improvement more and more in my communication.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it will be needed for me or not, it doesn't matter. But I always wanted to be a good listener. Whatever is going on over there, just kept consuming because everything is very important for you, right?
Yeah.
For the communication. So whether I felt need or not, but I kept following your videos and many tutors.
So,
And I,
what has helped you overall, is what you're saying.
yeah, help me out like when the people are talking, so carefully you have to listen them. Then only you can understand the things and you can train yourself to giving answers accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the things I got to learn from them.
Of course.
Patience, patience,
Mm.
not to be aggressive
Mm.
while conversation. So many people.
All right. All right. So, but were you getting aggressive while conversations and other things? That is what I'm asking. Like these changes that you were picking up, do you think that actually made a difference, or that is something that you feel that has to be done?
No, it made me quite improve in some of aspect, I would say.
All
At the
right.
beginning, I was little bit aggressive, but when I started following such videos, so I got really great improvement in me.
All right. All right. So, anything that you feel currently that you need to work on, which you are not able to, like you feel that this is a problem area, but you're not getting a solution for that.
Yeah, of course, I
Oh,
feel like I have to talk on many topics so
okay.
that I can extend my approach into,
All right.
because most we have a limited potential now,
Yeah.
right? So I just want to discuss on multiple topics so that I can approach well. And this
Okay.
is the way I can add a different context into my statement, and this is the way I can learn more and more.
Absolutely. Okay. Let's pick up one of the topics that you said that you feel like there are certain topics you need to discuss upon. What is one of them?
Okay, so just I want to discuss about the mental base.
Mental.
Nowadays, yes,
Mhm.
mental base. Nowadays, the 99% people have been suffering from
Yeah.
every single day. So, how to overcome mental peace? I mean, how to sustain our mental peace?
See, there are a lot of factors when it comes to mental issues, right?
Yes.
Number one being what has happened in your childhood, which is primarily the deal which sets your base. Apart from just childhood factor, the environment, which is also a major circle around the childhood factor. The kind of environment that you've grown up in, the kind of parenting style you were brought up with. So there are a lot of factors around that. Siblings, your relationship with siblings, your relationship with your friends, how have you grown up, what kind of school have you gone to? There are n number of factors when it comes to an individual. How have you been taught to deal with tough situations? Whether you were able to deal with them in a positive manner, if not, have you been bottling up your emotions or not? So there are a number of things when it comes to mental health. But since we've seen a paradigm shift now, that parents are also aware about this, and even the kids at a very young age are aware about mental health, right? But in earlier times, if we say, let's say 10 years ago, let's talk about that time period. 10 years ago, the awareness about mental health was not as widespread as it is today. Then, mental health, the very idea of going to a therapist, initially, I'm saying, for some people, irrespective of what background they came from, I felt, since we've had a conversation with a lot of people, I felt that their idea of a therapist was if you are unwell mentally. The very openness that to remain healthy mentally, you need to go to a therapist to understand what's going on in your mind. That openness was not there. And as a
Yeah,
result, even if somebody was trying to seek help, they were unable to seek help at that given point in time, and which led to depression and other problems because of that, and maybe other medical conditions which are a result of that, underlying conditions of bottling up emotions, because there are a lot of things on the medical side that we are unable to explain, but once we start actually realizing what had happened, then we start to open up layers and see, oh, this is because of this thing that happened n number of years ago with the person. So
yes,
mental health is like an onion. If I put it in a simple term, it has multiple layers to it. Every time you try to uncover something, there's a new layer to it. So, with
yes,
that, being open about your emotions, I understand that there are certain people who are not open about their emotions. But in schools, at an earlier stage, at parental levels, I think the openness for the child to have the kind of acceptance from the very beginning in their life will set a very healthy tone for the mind, or whatever methodology, but the child has to have an outlet to share the emotions. And now I feel like sometimes deal with younger students on a personal level. When you start treating the child as a person whose opinion is valued, the child feels seen and heard. In earlier times, we were like, oh, you're a child, you won't understand what we are talking about. But this generation is more aware. This
yes,
generation, the coming generation, or Gen Z as we put, they are more smart when it comes to multiple things, especially when it comes to their emotions. They have very clear boundaries about what they want and what they don't want, how they are planning to go about something. And if they don't want it, they're very clear. They might be very polite or they might walk off, but they might not be rude or something. Like initially people said boundaries is either you want it, either you don't. That concept has also mellowed down, but that openness has, I think, increased with more acceptance in Gen Z than in our or our parents or our grandparents' generation, which of course we'll say we've evolved with time. So I think this was a very important part of evolution, but this is my take on it. So, what is your take on it?
yeah, you're right, ma'am. I think releasing your internal opinions about any areas around your people, I mean, on people, or if you discuss with your close one.
Yeah.
So, releasing your opinions means you're going to feel very light from inside. You do not feel as a burden every time on you, right? So,
Ab-
discussions is very important, coming up, openness, and it's very important. You feel so light and you feel so excited for adopting something in your life on certain times.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you. I
So this is
absolutely.
very important, and I personally consider as a parent, behaving as a friend with their kids. It's very convenient for the upcoming times to take any decision on certain situations, I think. Many
Mm-hmm.
of them are very suppressing self because of strictness of their parents. They
Mm-hmm.
consider if I'll do anything and if I reveal my any opinions around my family, maybe that opinions will not be accepted by the parent. What will happen with me then? So they insist self a lot because of the pressure of their families, the strictness, and their, I mean, what I said, so many restriction comes from the family side, right, towards the child. So they feel very, suppressing, criticizing self because of their opinions, their thoughts. So somewhere we can consider like thoughts is the biggest enemy for us. Why?
Absolutely,
Because 99 people are suffering through their own thoughts. Their thought doesn't allow them to do anything,
that is
right?
true. That is
So
actually
it's very important to just get freedom from yourself and take a leave from your thoughts. If you have been suffering through, you have to talk to somebody. This is the way you can get, the expectation to have in return some different solutions for your anxiety, and
Mhm.
as well as you feel very light. You will be considered like someone is there for me. They can
Absolutely.
listen me anytime. This is my opinion.
That is very true. But the deal is that this is now that the awareness is there. But still, there are certain kids who've kind of found an ideology and escape into music and other things. And I'm not talking about a child who's too young. I'm talking about a child who's a teenager. They think, especially the ones who are in 11th or 12th or about to enter college or about to enter adulthood, they think they figured it out. That is the age when there's so many bodily changes because of biology. Then there are emotions which are heightened, and suddenly you feel, I'm not able to process an emotion, but I don't know how to actually talk to somebody to process it either. That is the age younger children will as a kid, let's take an example. If a 4-year-old person, a 4-year-old child, sorry, is uncomfortable about anything, no, I don't want to eat this fruit, I want to eat that fruit, they'll be very upfront about it. If you ask a teenager, they'll say, yeah, whatever. Or maybe they say, I don't like it, I don't want anything. It's an extreme situation. A little more mature adult who's in that early 20s or mid 20s would say, I would prefer this over this. Uh, a more mature person, probably late 20s or 30s, would have a different approach, and so on. Maybe by the time you're 40, 50, you have a different ideology. This doesn't suit me because of this issue, that issue. So there are n number of categories and n number of phases of life that one goes through. But if the child is taught, your opinion is valued, and I respect that. If you don't like this, fine. But don't have a mind block. At least try it at different phases of your life. And if you still don't like it, don't have it. But the very idea that sometimes parents tend to say, oh, you're just being a child, or it's very tasty, try it, try it, try it. Sometimes I feel it doesn't work for everybody. Maybe it works for some children. Maybe it does. But for some children, it doesn't work for them. It's like, I don't want to try it at all. Then they'll
Yeah,
have
they
a
might
mind
be
block.
compelled. Somewhere they might be compelled through their own thoughts towards their
Absolutely.
family.
It's like, I will not try it because my mom is pushing me to eat this fruit. I will not try it. That kind of rebellious nature forms opinions, and maybe 5, 10 years down the line, they were like, why was I avoiding it? Then you realize suddenly, ki, oh, I was being such a child. But you can't invalidate their feelings, is what I'm saying. So at
Yes.
any age, now, because of social media, there's a lot of exposure out in the world. So there's no lack of information now. So the child, you don't know how will they process the information and what steps the child might take. So for that very purpose, you have to be aware about a lot of things. That is my opinion, and I think you were talking on the same lines about the same. And it's just being elaborative on the same. So that is very important. That is something that is kind of important that needs to be discussed upon for sure.
Yes, yes, you're right, ma'am. As much as aware about the situation and kinds of the things is happening surrounding us, as better as be confident, feel internally, and taking any decision with the clarity.
Absolutely. That is true.
Yes. So, so, ma'am, tell me, like, uh, what are the new steps and kinds of, different example we must follow in our day-to-day life to be normal, to feel very normal.
See, the definition of normal varies for everybody. Right.
Yeah,
All live across different geographical locations in the country. We have very different routines. We have very different aspirations. So for you, if I say you are trying to learn a new language, for you, a normal day would be you wake up, you do your household things, you attend to your personal needs, you go to work, you probably sit and take sessions, or you have to edit something for YouTube and n number of things. That's your normal. For me, if I say I'd wake up, I do my own thing. And I'd go to work, I'd come back, I'd take sessions, I do other things, then I have commitments, then I have meetings, I have clients. So n number of things go on for me. That is my normal. So normal varies for everybody. But how you stay connected to yourself as a human being and you function properly is somewhat similar for everybody in their own routines. For that, for a person like me, if I'm emotionally sensitive, I would prefer journaling or letting my thoughts out, because if I say I have a tendency to overthink, I will not want to feed that tendency even further. If I feed that tendency, it will only cause me issues. Why? Because my anxiety will rise. As a result, if my anxiety rises, maybe my mental health gets disturbed. I'm not able to sleep, insomnia, other things. Because of that, something else might be triggered in my body. So might cause another medical issue. So it's one thing after the other. So to avoid such a paradigm mess, I would want to do one thing, that is, I will either call up a friend, discuss the problem, or I will reach out to a parent. If not, if they are busy, if I don't want to trouble them, maybe I'll journal my thoughts. Maybe I'll try to meditate. Whatever helps me, I have to look out for what is working for me for a particular problem that I face. If I feel that there is a problem, but I don't feel like sharing it with anybody, I might write the problem down, because sometimes writing it down helps me think, oh, this can be a solution for this. You try it and things work out for you. So sometimes if you're not a person who is not too private, if you're a person who's too private about your things, you can try this method of solving things out. Because if you're only stuck in the loop of problems and thinking about the problem, how are you working on the solution for the problem? So that is one very big thing that one really needs to keep in mind.
Yeah, you're right, ma'am.
Yeah.
That's why, those people who love to hide their feeling, most of them, come up, as an introvert person, known as
Yeah.
an introvert person. But
Mm,
becoming introvert person, it doesn't suit for long period of time because until or unless you have to be, expose yourself, you
absolutely.
have to show yourself around others. Then only the people will know you. Yeah, this is that and this and that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, I would like to thank you for this session, because I have another session at 1:50. I'm so sorry. And we've anyways come to the end of our session and our slot. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you in the next session.
See you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.